So, good afternoon. Sorry, it's already evening. Good evening. Today we will be moving on to our next topic, which is introduction to UX design. So, in this topic, we'll be talking about everything you need to know about UX design, the roles, the process, everything involving UX design. And normally, it should take us 2 days, today and tomorrow. But I don't think we might be able to complete it within today and tomorrow. So we might extend it to next week Saturday, and then we start the next phase on next week on the other Sunday. So let's get started. So what is UX design? UX design, everybody know UX design, and UX design is user experience design. You designing for users, and UX design have been like have been in existence since ages, like from the bronze age. I don't whichever age, just think about it. There has been UX design. UX design is about designing things for users convenience. So for example, in the olden days, people don't really have anything to carry their gold. They only have those who are rich in the community are the only ones that have access to horses and some others and donkeys for them to be able to carry and donkeys for them to be able to carry their goods and everything all around. But after some time, some people were able to think, okay, how do we make this process very easy? How can we carry things of heavy load of various diameters and carry it through from one location to another without using horses, or even if you are using horse can't carry something very much more heavy or something with larger breadth or something. So they just have to like think, okay, this is a problem. How do we solve it? That is what UX design is all about. And they were able to create some carriage, joining some wood together, create a wheel and put the loads on the carriage and attach the load to the horse, and that's how they've been able to transport goods from one location to another in the olden days. So these methods, and come to think about it, some people now check out how they use carriage and the likes, and they decide to build something much more advanced. That's when they move on to all dis motorcycle, bicycle, all dis bicycle and the like. So based with time, like over time, US design have been improving, and we keep on designing things that will keep on solving people's problem. And in the next, let me say, 100 years, you realize that everybody will just be jobless, because by that time we will be able to design a whole lot of system that will be doing all our basic needs for us, and we won't have to do anything. Just sit down, computer will do it for you. Do this, you don't need to go to farm. Just operate your artificial intelligence machines, and based on the experience and how things should work, based on the interview that you user experience designer have done, they will be able to create products that will be solving all these problems, and then human being will be jobless eventually. So that is about UX design. UX design is just designing for accessibility, designing for ease, designing for better environment, designing make it's just about solving problems. That's what UX design is all about. So we have different categories of UI UX designers. We have interaction designers. So in this basic UX design will be focusing on web on digital products like applications, mobile applications, and if at all you move into product designer, then in product design roles whereby you have to design products like engineering stuff, mechanical engineering, that kind of stuff. So those ones are some other fields already. But in this aspect, we are designing digital products like mobile application, website, web app, and that's what we'll be covering in this UX design. So we have interaction designers. So interaction designers focus on designing the experience of a product and how it functions. They strive to understand the user flow or the path that a typical user takes to complete a task on an app, website or other platform. So this is what interaction designers do. They study people and they check out how you interact with product. If you notice, most of the actions button on your mobile phone or your application and everything are not always at the top, or else something that are not really relevant. But most of the stuff they want you to perform on their website will always be at the bottom, because they know that your hand can actually reach it at that very particular location. So they've already studied how you interact with the product, and that is how they are able to design stuff like that. That is one of the functions of an interaction designer. So moving on to the next type of designer, which is visual designer. Some people who are very good in visual design, some people will design something, most especially graphic designers. They will design application, everything will be fine, will be good, and then the application is not solving any problem, because they are only good at the visual aspect, the color, they were able to communicate stuff, everything will look visual, like will be satisfactory in nature. Once you see their design, you know that, oh, this is very beautiful, and then the design might not actually be solving any problem, although it's fine, but it's not solving any problems. But that's the work of visual designer, to give designs a very good look, and that's like I said earlier, visual designer focus on how a product or a technology looks. They are often responsible for designing logos, illustration, icons, as well as designing on font, color, size and placement. Like I already show you guys about how to like manage all these icon, color, size, placement and the likes. So visual designers have to like combine everything to be much more visual appealing, and they work based on the datas and the result that all other form of designers have given them. And moving on to the next one, we have motion designer. For example, many of you might not have heard about motion designers, but we have motion designers. So motion designers are people that they studied movement from one position to another or one page to another on your website. Like that, for example, maybe you go to you open an app, you open WhatsApp, and then the kind of animations, the way you were able to move from so so page to another page, so so position to another page, and they study the way you really love to they study the way users really love to interact with products in terms of motion. That's what they actually do. So motion designers think about what it feel like for a user to move through a product and how to create smooth transaction between pages on an app or website. So motion designers also deals with flow, like your flow. They make your journey, your motion, your movement from each and every form of the page on the web, on the platform. They make it very simple and seamless. So that's what motion designers do. They may also create animations, like I said earlier, or visual effect to bring their designs idea to life. So that's what motion designers do. And moving on to the next one are VR or AR designers. If many of you have been to maybe all these ShopRite, ICM, you need to go and play all these form of games, virtual reality games, and that's all these games are designed based on users experience, what users really want to see. So some people actually design this and they are called VR or AR designers. Their job is to their job is to design something in a much more virtual reality. It's not actually real, but virtually real, like one of the stupid course I did when I'm in school. So virtual reality and augmented reality designers create products that provide users with immersive experience, unbounded by the limits of the physical world. Like, so many of you that are, I've not yet played the game yet because I don't want to disgrace myself, but some of you that have played the game, you realize that you it normally feels as if you are in real life. Then you start misbehaving. Oh, this bird wants to eat me, and someone wants to blow me, that kind of stuff. So they design it in such a way that they make it feel so real, despite the fact that it's actually something virtual, it's not real. So that's their work, and that's work of VR and or AR designers. Moving on to the next one, we have UX researchers. So I normally say something that UX researcher are the bedrock of every successful product. So if you get the research wrong, then you are getting it wrong. Research is a very tangible part of any product life cycle, and once you are not doing the adequate research, or once you didn't do the good research, the good aspect of the research, then you are totally getting it wrong. So user researcher conduct studies or interviews that examine how people use a product. For example, someone might just call you, okay, okay, how do you feel about, or how do you feel about buying things online? And you be like, okay, I get frustrated, I order for kuli, they brought garri, that kind of stuff. So those are all this kind of research. You conduct different form of research, quantitative, qualitative, you conduct interview, you conduct testing, you conduct a whole lot of research about your product. So any product that has a very good research will definitely like move forward in the market. So that's the function of a UX researcher. UX researcher are the bedrock of any product. Once you are getting the research done, or even with the product that are already in market, they still conduct research on it. Okay, how are you using this product? What are you not satisfied about? What are your pros, what are your cons, what are your difficulties, how are you able to do this, do that, and take me through the process you were able to do so. They ask so many questions, and that's how they get adequate results when it comes to creating better products. So we have UX writers. If you go to any platform, you will definitely see text, you will definitely see word, you will definitely see some sweet stuff like try it for 20, try this for 20% free for the first 3 months, and you be like, this is a very good offer. It's the work of UX researcher. They already know what you really want, and they will give you as a word, as text on the platform. You be like, wow, this is good. No, you actually fall into their trap because they actually know you. So So that's the work of UX researcher or UX writer. Moving on to the next one, we have UX program managers. Program managers ensures clear and timely communication. So everybody know managers now. They bound their team together. They make sure that every phase of the product development life cycle goes as planned and everything is successful. So that the process of building a useful product moves smoothly from start to finish. Like I said earlier, every process of product development life cycle must go smoothly. That's their work of UX. That's the work of UX program managers. Then moving on to the next one is UX engineer. Although they are not actually UX engineer, but in UX design we call them UX engineer. They are the developers. They develop whatever the instructions you design for them and everything, they make it live. That's their work. They just code it, make everything work, and that's it. That's the work of UX engineers. So, like I said, the UX engineer translate the design's intent into UX engineer translate the design's intent into a functioning experience like an app or a website. They help UX team figure out if design are intuitive and technically feasible. That's the work of UX engineers. So moving on to the next one, we have conversation engineer. Many of you be like, hey Siri, what's my name? Siri be like, your name is so so so. Based on the research, or let me say based on what UX designers or the conversation designers produced, that's what prompt Siri to be able to answer most of your question, most of the AI question, because they were able to design the conversation to like Siri. What was that one for Google? I've forgotten. They were able to design it based on your requirement, based on how they study you and what they think you will be needing. So that's the work of conversation designers. So moving on to the next one, which is the product development life cycle. But before I move on, is there any question whatsoever? Hello?
No from me.
Any question?
I think I
Huh?
no from me, sure.
No
I think
question.
I have.
Okay, you all understand. So before I continue, I want to say something. I gave you guys assignments since Sunday, and I also extended the assignments till Friday. Even despite the extending it, I don't even close the link, but I only I only got 10 submission out of 140 students in the group. Just 10 submission. Well, so this is just what I'm going to like say, because like I'm just really disappointed. Yes, I'm really disappointed, and I already know that people, chances like this don't really come often. And being personally, I'm very busy. I'm very busy. But despite being busy, I still created time in order to make sure that you guys have some kind of chances. And there's even you might actually get some courses online, get courses from anywhere. Okay, I can learn it on my own, bro. See, the kind of gap I'm recovering for you, so what you will be able to learn within this like 3 months that we'll be using to do this training, you might not be able to cover it in the next 1 year. See, I have different form of courses on my computer. I've not even watched 20% of them. That's how these things work. Once you have the courses, or once you don't really have someone really monitoring you, or someone really giving you, or someone really following you up, you definitely won't be serious. That's the fact. And in situations like that, what you should know within 3 months, you be learning it over more than 1 year, 2 years. Me, I don't even have any mentor. The only mentor I have, I've never sat me down, okay, Ewa, this is how you draw this is how you draw that. Okay, Ewa, this is the meaning of UX design, this is the meaning of, I just ask him for, okay, bro, what should I do? What should I learn? He just send me link, go and learn everything about it. I learn everything all by myself. If I'm having issue, go to YouTube, go to interactiondesign.com, go to Nelson Norman, go to different platform online to go and find solutions to my problem. But I don't know. I'm just very disappointed. Just 10 submissions, and out of those 10, so I'm not actually really after the like you doing the text. I just want that kind of effort, that okay, you are really serious about this stuff. And definitely, if you guys are paying, you will you will definitely make so much effort, because you won't want your money to waste. But because it is free, that's the reason why that's what I can only think that is causing this nonchalant attitude. Well, I won't say more than that. I just hope you guys are serious, because definitely once I only need, like I said, I only need about just 30 serious students between you guys. If I can just see 30 serious people that can, okay, these 30 people actually finish this training, and I'm really proud of them. Any other small gig I'm having, or maybe big gig that I'm unable to do, I already know to give the gigs to. There is no there is no partial or no anything there, and definitely you guys will definitely get some recommendations, because I know I can't finish there's no way I will not have anything I'm doing as I am. That's just the fact about me. There's no way I will not have anything about it. And despite having some things might actually come in line, and then I don't have anybody to give. So that's one of the reasons why, okay, these people are well trained by me. So I will be able to recommend them some stuff. Well, no problem about that. No problem about that. I will give you guys another assignment tomorrow. Yeah. And I will see how much you guys turn up. And the people that actually submitted the assignment today, yeah, I have their record, and I will definitely review the assignment. I will make some comment about their designs and what they need to improve. That's the basic things. That's the basic of these things. I just want to like give you guys some kind of space, so that we'll be able to correct you guys. And once you get so much correction, you'll be able to improve rapidly. And someone actually did one work that is like very brilliant, based on the simple assignment I gave you guys. And someone was unable to finish it. He only did like something very little. And that's still acceptable, because at least he made the effort. Meanwhile, some people are not even challenged at all. Okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, and they didn't submit. Well, No problem about that. So moving on to the next part, which is the product development life cycle. So product development life cycle. So product development life cycle. In every new product, whether it's an app or a physical object, follows a specific set of steps that take it from the first spark of an idea to the release of the final product. Like everything in this life, even if it's torchlight, someone actually thought of it, okay, we should have something called torchlight. Then they started by brainstorming ideas, and then they created something, and that's the reason why we have torchlight today. This your laptop, someone was like, okay, instead of we having desktop computer, we should have something we should be able to carry out up and down. The person brainstormed the idea, this is how we should do it, this is how we should do it, and that's how we're able to have laptop today. So every product always have a development life cycle, and the development life cycle of like nearly all products are somehow similar, very similar, but the terms used to define it is just like different. So in UX design, we have 5 product development life cycle. So the first cycle is the brainstorm section, where you brainstorm ideas, and next one we have define. Next one we have define, and the next stage we have design, the next one we have test, and the last one we have launch. So in the brainstorm stage, every product comes from an idea. For example, like I said earlier, someone was like, okay, instead of we having desktop computer, we should have something we should be able to carry on, a computer we should be able to carry easily, instead of we having to create a whole desk just for us to use computer. Then the person brainstorm, okay, how do we solve this problem? That was how he was able to gather some team members. They brainstorm together, and they think about, okay, this is how we should do this is how we should do that. So in the first stage of product development life cycle, which is brainstorm stage, when the team start thinking of an idea for a product, that's brainstorm stage. Brainstorm stage is whenever they think, okay, we have this idea, then let us think about it. How will we be able to implement this idea? That's the brainstorm stage. So in some cases, your team might already know the user's problem, which is how do we carry computer how do we create a mobile computer or something we'll be able to carry up and down. That's the that's the actual user problem. They they don't feel comfortable having their computers at home always. They want to be able to carry it everywhere. And though this is some kind of scenario, and we have some kind of scenario whereby you won't even have user problem, but you have the idea. So problem brainstorming in product development life cycle already have some kind of flows you have to like follow through. And number one is, first of all, defining what you really want to brainstorm about, which is your idea. Once you already have the idea, and then you check, maybe there are some users facing problem that your idea is actually solving. If we have some users, that one will be very easy, and if you don't have, then you move on to the next stage, and then you brainstorm some ideas in creating your product. It's important to pay attention to the diversity of your team at this age, and whichever team have much more diversity, like ethnic group, age, gender, religion, different stuff, whichever team that have like wide range of people from different diverse background, race and anything, we ten d to create much more solution faster than teams of maybe we are all white guys and we are all rich, we are all clean. We won't be able to really know problems that some certain set of people are facing. But what come to think of it, when we have diverse background and diverse race and everything in a team, then everybody will be able to gather idea, look at the problem from their own point of view, and they will be able to brainstorm some ideas together. So next stage is divine stage. So divine stage is you setting, once you already brainstorm, you have to brainstorm so many ideas. Okay, we should create something called Nava. Okay, we should create something called Edda. Okay, we should create something called cat. We should do this, we should do that. Then you will define. So divine stage is where you will tailor your whatever you brainstorm. So divine stage is always the second stage in UX design, and the goal is to figure out the specification for the product. You already brainstorm it already, then you want to figure out the specification for that very particular product. That's what the divine stage is all about. You have so many ideas that you brainstorm, then you tailor it. Okay, this is what you are going after, this is what you are choosing. And when you are choosing something like this, you may use different form of method which you will later know along as you are going on in the UX design course. So divine stage is very critical, because once you are getting what you really need, once you are getting things wrong from the design stage, then you will have a whole, your product won't be successful. Or let me say you have a product that is not meeting the users requirements. So you have to get your design stage very define stage very well, because you have to tailor what is actually good for users, what users really want in your product. That's why we have the design stage. So moving on to the next one, which is design. You already define, okay, this is what we want on our product. After brainstorming, you define it. This is what you want, and this is what we think we will be needing. That's it, and so on and so forth. So once you already tailor everything out, then you design your product. You design it, you design the header, the footer, you design all aspect of the product. And define design stage is all like in most times the third stage of the product development life cycle. So generally, UI designer start by drawing wireframes. Like I said earlier, define design stage is a very critical part of the stage, because that's where you design your whole product. And then when you are designing, you automatically you must have ideas and flows. You must have ideas and flows, and you will automatically get your flows from this defined stage, where you are actually defining all what you want on the platform or on the product. Then once you already get your flow, then you'll be able to create wireframes and then design your low fidelity prototype and high fidelity prototype for your product. So generally, designers start by drawing wireframes, which are outlines or sketch of the product, then move on to creating prototypes, which are early models of a product that convey its functionalities. So UX writer are also involved, like I said, in when I was designing the type of UX designer. We have so like when I was designing or defining the type of UX designer, we have UX writer. So UX writer are also involved, because they are responsible for all the content, and they will your visual designer's work is to create a visual appealing design that will convey the content message, but all the content on the platform will be defined by the UX writer. So UX writers are also involved in the design stage and might do things like write button label or other copy things with product wireframe and prototype. So moving on to the next one, which is test stage. Once you design your product, you design your e-commerce application, for example, let's use e-commerce application, you have to test it. You can't just, okay, I've designed app, oh, people come and be using it. Then you realize that your app is not actually, people are actually getting stuck at so point. You didn't test it, you don't even know how people are interacting with your app, and then you put it into the market. So the more you rush into the market, the more you rush back. That's how that's how the market work in the tech industry. So you have to calm down and test your product. So you test your product with real life user. see the way users interact, get their feedback, their pain point, what's paining them. So those informations that you get, that you'll be getting from the users, you will now use it. UX design works more like a closed loop system. We have two type of system. We have open loop and closed loop. Open loop are the system whereby you just input, process, and then you get your output. But UX design, once you input something which is the idea brainstorming and define, then you process it, which is the design, then you output it, which is the product. So once the people test the product and then they have some kind of issue with the product, then you get the feedback and add it to the next form of input that you'll be using in designing your product. So that's how UX design work. It works more like a closed loop system, and you have to make sure that you test your app and your app is solving like 100% of all users need. So when it comes to testing, we have different type of testing. We even have usability testing and KPIs. That one will be later, you know more about them. So usability testing is testing how usable your product is and how people were able to use it, and any product that is having nine 90%, less than 90% success rate needs to be redesigned, based on users problem, because if 90% of users are unable to successfully perform their operation on your website, then you are actually getting it wrong, then you have to redesign. So that's about testing. After series of testing and research, once you realize that okay, your product is good to go, then you launch, which is the final stage of the product development life cycle. So once you launch your product, people will buy, your customer support will contact people, and your marketing teams will tell people about okay, this is our product, this is what it do, this is what it does, and how to use it. And then you create some kind of promo which your marketing, and you just make sure that your product is in market and is solving people's problem. So that is just the main point of launching. Your product is in market and everybody heard about it and is able to like solve their problem. So that's about the launching phase. Moving on to the next phase, which is the type of designers. So when it comes to designer, we have some designers that are jack of all trade, and we have some designers that are specialist. So instead of jack of all trade, they call them generalist designers. We have specialist designers and we have generalist designers. So when it comes to specialist designers are some designers that actually like focus on a particular aspect of design. If you go to Google today now, once they employ you as UX designer, you might just be working on let me say interaction design. You might just be working as interaction designer, and even you being an interaction designer, you may have about 50 people that you guys are that are doing interaction designer together in Google. About 50 people, just interaction designer. Maybe you want to create a product and 50 people have to come together to come and do the interaction design. That's how big those companies are. And we have generalist designer, someone that can do everything, both interaction, UX writing, conversation, virtual reality, everything about UX design. They know every aspect. We have specialists, we have generalists, and we now have another group which is T-shaped. So T-shaped is not here, but T-shaped, what T-shaped actually mean was that everybody know the way T is now. T is just the way we have letter T. Let me look for a capital letter T. Okay, there's no capital letter T. Just the way we have capital letter T. Some starting from the edge at the top is actually going straight, and at the middle something comes down, like comes down very well. So T-shape is just like you being a designer, you know a little bit about interaction, you know a little bit about motion, you know a little bit about visual, you know a little bit about UX research, but you are very good. Your specialization is UX writing. So UX writing is your calling, but you have knowledge and to some certain extent about all other roles. So that's the function of a T-shaped designers. So when it comes to where designers work, depending on where you are working, that's what we actually depend about. Maybe you will be working as a specialist or a generalist or a T-shaped designer. So this is the influence of company size and industry on designers. So let's check startup and small businesses. In a startup, in a startup, advantages of you are being a designer in a startup company: team size. You can see the team size. The team size is something very small. So probably in most cases you might be the only designer here, and then you have ability to grow at a very fast pace, ability to grow, your creativity will improve, then you will have enough impact about whichever product you guys are producing. For example, maybe you are the only designer in the company and you guys produce a web application, you be like, na me design dat app na, only you and na me do am. So compared to Gmail, about thousands of designers might have work on Gmail, just that simple Gmail that we have. You can't just come out that okay, I did all Gmail by myself. No, you are part of the team members that did Gmail. So that's one of the advantage of you working in a startup or in a startup company. And then it also have disadvantages. Disadvantages is mentorship. Like I said, it's very good to have someone that will guide you and take you through things. That's one thing about mentorship. If you can actually do it on your own, I know you are very strong, but the time that you take, you check your time. If you have someone that is ready to like take you and show you how these things work, how you should do it, this, how you should do that, then that one will be faster compared to you racking your brain on how to do this or how to do that. So mentorship is a very is a disadvantage over, because you won't really have mentor, you don't have design lead, you don't have project manager that you can talk like, you don't have someone you don't have people in higher echelon compared to your level that you can actually talk to if you are working in a startup. You have responsibility, yeah, only you. You will design flyer, you will design logo, you will design banner, you will create social media post, you will create mobile application design, you will do the animation, you will not be able to sleep, you will have headache, they will stress you, they will even pay you less. That's one of the disadvantages of working with in a startup. And the last one, which is speed. Speed of you getting things done or you creating solutions to problem will be very slow compared to you having different, maybe for example you want to create a promo, you want to create a promo banner and you are thinking of where you to put it on the website. In a team of like 20 people, once you be like, okay, where should we put it? Before you know it, 10 people are already giving you idea and you already, okay, this is the right position. Compared to you thinking about it all alone, all by yourself, it will take like forever. So speed when it comes to design, speed when it comes to getting things done or creating product, moving at a very fast pace is not encouraging when you are working in a startup. So when you are working in big companies like Google, for example, you have mentorship, you have oga that you can look up to, you have Saga, Bring or Larry Page, or what is their name of their CEO that you can just go and meet, daddy I'm marrying you, that kind of stuff. And growth, you will definitely grow because you will see people with diverse mind, different background. You see people that you know that okay, these people are not on my level. These people are not on my level. I'm ready to learn, and you'll be able to really learn a lot from them. So, guidedness. You might be making mistake when you are designing. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody need review. Everybody like me, I love critics. When I see something wrong with my design, when someone tell me, I'm really happy because I will be able to like make changes and make whichever design I'm doing a better one. Make whichever design I'm doing a better one. So that's one of the usefulness of working with the big companies. You have people to guide you, to take you through instead of you racking your brain to do stuff. People already know how to do it. It just give you updates and then you move on. So team size. So in a startup, it might not be more, you can only be, sometimes you might be the only designer or maximum two, three. Compared to Google that we have like 150 designer in just interaction design department, and then you guys want to work on project, you work it together, everything is cool, and every salary, a whole lot of stuff, everything is just moving fine. You don't have issue, you have problem like this, you talk to someone that can solve the problem for you, someone more superior, someone that has knowledge, it can even be your colleague, a whole lot of stuff. So team size also matters, and we have specialization. Specialization works in such a way that maybe, like me, I'm very good when it comes to interaction design, how people will use the product. So whenever I'm working for a company like Google or something, I would like to work an interaction designer, because that's where my strength lies, how people interact with product and what people are expecting on your product, how will people will interact with it. So that's my aspect, that's where I'm specialized, and working in a big company, you'll be able to do that. So, and we also have disadvantages. Team size. Maybe people were like, okay, we want to create the header. Out of 50 people, they already talk. They choose someone's opinion. We want to create the hero section. They choose someone else. And by the time you guys completed the whole design, you realize that you don't even have anything on the design. You might feel intimidated, and you realize that you might even feel that okay, you are not contributing to this thing. Although you are contributing, but you know that your contribution is not actually showing, like it's very low. That's the function of, that's what team size can cause. And we have impact. Like I said, impact too. Impact is maybe whatever you are doing is not really showing. You realize that the only thing that actually show is the color you told them to, maybe that composed Gmail color. That's, you are the one that brought the idea, and they actually use it. That's the only thing you have on the whole Gmail app. As a designer, you feel like okay, you are not making impact in this very particular position or place. So, and guidelines. You also have guidelines. Some kind of guidelines might be somehow restrictive to your creativity. Maybe Google already say can't use more than green, can't use more than green for this product, because green is our official colour, green and yellow. Den you realize dat if you use blue, dis thing be will even be solving problem, but due to guidelines you can't do anything. So you just have to like move on and dat kind of stuff. So dats one of the disadvantages of working in a company, in a big company. And working as a freelancer, nothing concern you, just dey house dey make your money jeje, but it also has its own advantages and disadvantages. So like schedule is one of the advantages. You don't have to go to 8 to 5 job, you don't have to work with some set of people, you are just on your own chilling, no problem, no issue. That's one of the advantages of working as a freelancer. And flexibility, you may just wake up in the midnight and have the strength to work for the next 6 hours and work for the next 6 hours. Everything is feasible. You can sit at home, you don't need to go to work, you can do different kind of stuff at your own comfortability. That's one of the advantages. And we have autonomy. You can't be working in Google and they tell you AY, you and so your team members are working on so stuff, and you be like no, I don't like it oo. No. But as a freelancer, you can choose whichever project you want to work on, whatever stuff you want to work on. They don't, nobody is controlling you, you are just all by yourself chilling. So, and also experience. As a freelancer, you will gain a whole lot of experience because you have the ability to choose whatever you are working on, and then you can decide to choose to have experience in different field, not something, not something specific to, you have the chance to work in different field and not something specific to whatever Google is doing, maybe Google search, Google Ads or anything. You can work on any other thing that you like. So that's, and working on different stuff, you'll be able to gain a no more than enough experience. And disadvantages is structure. So you don't have anybody to report to. as your boss or anything, then you just have to like work at your own pace, and this might not be really encouraging. Number one, it's either you are working based on deadline of client's work, or you are working number one is either you are working based on deadlines of client's work, or you are working just the way you like. I don't feel like doing anything today. The way you are structured, and you have the flexibility, but the way you are structured, you might not be able you might not really have enough experience, or let me say you will not be able to improve the way you think you'll be able to improve based on the kind of structure. And stability, when you are working with Google, you always have something to work on, but when you are working on alone, time will not bring job, that kind of stuff. You have business. Business is something not really fixed when it comes to freelancing. You may collect a project of $1,000 today, and tomorrow someone will be saying you only have $20. That's the issue. So business part of it is also a very cogent part when it comes to working. And mentorship, you are working all by yourself, you don't have mentor, you will not be able to like learn new trends, do a whole lot of stuff, and interact with so much people, which may help to cure depression, and also boost your activeness when it comes to working. So that's that. Moving on to the next one, we have user centered design process. We have the one we explained before was product development life cycle, but this one is the actual user centered design process. So each phase of the user centered design process focuses on users and their needs. When it comes to user, when they say user centered, that is, we are centering our focus on the users, whatever the users want, whatever we are designing products for what users will like and what they actually want. That is the work of user centered design. So it's an iterative process, which means that designers go back to certain phases again and again to refine their design and create the best possible product for their intended users. Like I said, it's more like testing. You go back to your design, maybe you created something, this button is not looking fine. When you are done with the prototype, you go back again to go and design the buttons, you do this, this is actually not good. So user centered design is creating designs that are user centric, that are solving the actual users problem, that meets users requirement. So that's user centered design. At the core of the user centered design process, is a deep empathy for the users. It's not just about what a product does for a user, it's about how the experience of interacting with the design makes the users feel. You go to some gambling website, let me use gambling website like BetNaija. Maybe you be playing like this now, you be like, for example, maybe you are playing BetNaija virtual, and they are chopping your money, they are chopping your money. All of a sudden you won, and then they gave you one hure that you won in that minute. Then you feel happy, wow, I won, despite the fact that you are actually losing money. But that kind of sensation will prompt you forward to keep on playing. And those are the various form of designs that they actually design. They know that okay, once you see something like this, your your dopamine, your brain secrete some dopamine that will make you okay, this is sensation and this is pleasurable. Then you move on, you use your school fees and everything to play it until they finish you. So that's one of the reasons why designers are very critical when it comes to product development. A whole lot of stuff. So moving on to the next one, this is the user central design process. We have understand how the users experience the product. Once you understand how the user experience the product, this is how people are approaching the product. I want to try and give an example. I want to try and give an example. So so I want to try and give an example. I'm looking for a very perfect example when it comes to how user interacts with product. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. For example, for example, car engines. We have car engines. In the olden days when they started creating car, you normally have the car engines at the back. But based on experience, how people interact with car, they realize that car engines are not like better off at the back and they have to like redesign it. And that's why we started having car engines at the bottom and then we are putting loads at the back. So that was one of the user experience that was one of the experience users have, and they've already studied, okay, this is how users interact with the product, and they were able to create a much more feasible solution to the product. So after understanding how the user experience the product, how the user interacts with the product, then you specify the user's need. Users don't like going to the front of the car or going to the back of the car to go and check their engine. They prefer going to the front because probably maybe it's closer to the driver's seat and the likes. So those are one of the needs that you have to specify when you are conducting your user centric design research. Then once you already know how user interacts with it, then you specify their needs, then you design a new solution. Once you design a new solution, after designing a new solution for the product, then you evaluate solutions against the users need. The solution you input it, just like I said, a closed loop system. You already design the product, test how they interact with it, then come back here, understand how user interacts with it, then you specify their needs, what they really want, you create a design solution, and then you move on to evaluate solutions against the user needs. So once you add your feedback and everything to your new product, then you can either go back again and redesign, or you can go back again and specify the user's need, or you can go back to the earlier state again to go and understand how users experience the product. So we have 5 elements of UX design. In UX design, we have elements, and we have basically 5 elements. The 5 elements of UX design is a framework of steps that user designers take to turn an idea into a working product. So maybe you have an idea, okay, I want to create an aeroplane toy, then you already have idea. So the process of you having the idea and then having the aeroplane live is undergoes these 5 elements when it comes to UX design. So the elements are strategy, scope, structure, skeleton and surface, which are 5S. You must know the meaning of the 5S. So we have strategy, we have scope, we have structure, we have skeleton and we have surface. So just think about it as if you have like 5 layers now, and these are the 5 layers. You have the surface, you have the skeleton, we have the structure, we have the scope and we have the strategy. So what is strategy? The bottom layer is strategy, where you lay a foundation of your design goals. Maybe you have an idea and then you want to create design for your idea. You must set up your goals. Okay, this is what you want to be able to achieve, this is this is that, and this and that. So you must set up your goals when it comes to the 5 elements, when it comes to the strategy stage of the 5 elements. And the next one, which is scope. The next layer is scope, which is where you determine the type of product you are building. Products have type, they have diverse backgrounds, they have categories. So after designing your goals, these are what you are following, this is our aim, this is what we want to achieve. Then the next stage, you determine the type of product you are building. At this point, you consider the kind of features and con ten t you want to include in dis product. Maybe you want the product to have header, you want it to have a real section, you want it to have footer, you want it to have contact us, you want it to have anything, you define it in this section. And then we have the structure. Structure is the stage whereby all the stuff you already decide that okay you want this on your product, then you will structure it, you will align it together. This is how this should work, this is the flow it should pass through, this is that. You structure your design. It is the middle layer in the whole structure. Here you will figure out how to organize your design and how you want users to interact with the product. So like I said, this is where you the structure is like once you get the structure wrong, maybe for example when you go to a an e-commerce store, you know that process is to go to e-commerce, see the product, add it to cart, proceed to checkout, add your delivery address, then pay and then get your product. So let's now imagine you going to the website, you see your product, once you click on your product, you click on pay before you add to cart, before you do this, before you do that, and the whole process is scattered, the whole structure is not well aligned. Or for example, maybe once you go to the e-commerce website, they tell you to pay first before you even see product, that kind of stuff. So the structure I really like is, to me, is like the most tangible part. Once you get the structure wrong, the structure of your idea is wrong, then you get the whole product wrong. And the skeleton. Skeleton is the layout of the product, just like the layout of our bone shapes. Just just the way our bone shapes our skins. The skeleton layer details how your design works. So skeleton layer is just in structure, you already structure it, okay, this is how this will be, this this is the flow, this is everything, and then the skeleton layers now actually shows it, show what you already structured out. Skeleton will cover it, like will give it a much more visible shape that people will be able to understand, okay, this is what you do. And the surface which is the upper layer, which is the outermost layer, which is what people will see. Surface is used to present how the product will look like to users. You already know, okay, this is what users are expecting, then you must make sure that the surface match users requirement. The surface represents the interface that users view and interact with. So that's the surface, and those are the 5S. So in case you really don't really understand the you don't really get, how do I put it, we've already talked about three types now. We already talked about product development life cycle, user centered design, and the last one, which is the 5S, which is the 5 element of UX design. So elements, you must know about the elements, because whenever once you know very much about the elements, it will help you in the product development life cycle. And then you knowing about user centered designs, you will be able to create a much more user centric product that meets user requirement and solves their problem. So lastly, for today, we have the design thinking process. So when it comes to the design thinking, many of you might have heard about design thinking. Design thinking. What is design thinking? Hold on, just wait me for 5 minutes, I'm coming. You guys should wait, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, okay. So we have design thinking process. Design thinking is a user-centered approach to problem. So when we are talking about design thinking is about how you are able to think about users problem and solve it. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can, we can.
Okay. So design thinking is about how you're able to think, like it's just critical thinking. Every solution you are seeing today comes to pass due to the fact that some people were able to think about, okay, this is how we should solve the problem, and that's what design is all about. If you are just designing so that your designs can be fine and everything can look smooth, then you are really getting it wrong. But in design thinking process, you'll be able to know how to think, the process you should follow when you are trying to like create design and solve users problem So these are the five design thinking process. Number one is empathize. So many of you know the meaning of empathizing. Empathizing is we have we have sympathize, we have which one is it? There's other one too. We have sympathize. So sympathizing with people is like you are trying to feel people's pain. And if you rush it for that kind of stuff. You are just trying to sympathize. You are not creating solutions. But when it comes to empathizing with users, then you are trying, okay, you having issues you having issues downloading on Facebook. Hey, yeah, sorry, okay, this is how you should do it, this is how you should do it. Then that is empathizing. Number one, you can actually feel the user's pain, and number two, you are able to solve their problem through the statement or through their frustration or through what is actually giving them issues, through the pain that is giving them problem. So that's empathizing with users. If you are empathizing with users, then you are feeling their pain, at the same time creating solutions to their problem. So after empathizing with user, okay, you already get that, okay, Mr. Musa was unable to pay was unable to transfer money to through his bank account due to the fact that his bank app is having issue. Mr. Musa is always very busy. Mr. User doesn't have time to go to bank. Mr. Musa doesn't have time to do this or do that. You already know that he's having issue with his bank app and he doesn't have time to go to bank. Then you define the set of problems that Mr. Musa is facing. Okay, the problem is that the bank have issue. It doesn't have some features like where you can actually contact customer support, where you can actually make some kind of quick chat with agent, where you can the transaction flow is not seamless. Maybe transaction is taking more than 2 days. All those kind of stuff. Then you define the problem. The problem gotten from empathizing with the user. After defining the problem, then you ideate. Okay, I already know the problem Mr. User is facing. After empathizing with him, I was able to define the problem. Then I need to ideate, how do I solve this problem? So once you ideate about how you solve the problem, the flow and everything, that's when you move to the next stage, which is prototyping. So prototyping is basically you creating wireframes based on the flow, based on how you think you should be able to you should solve Mr. Musa's problem. Then you prototype it. Okay, if Mr. Isha should go to the social section, be able to contact customer support. If we should have a good network, you should be able to make fast transaction. If we should have this, if we should have that. So Mr. Musa is already thinking Musa, you already think about the way Mr. Musa is thinking, and you are creating a kind of, okay, this is what Mr. Musa is expecting when it comes to header, when it comes to sidebar, when it comes to everything. So that is about that. And then we have the next one, which is test. Testing is once you create your prototype, your low high fidelity prototype, you test it on people. Usability testing, you can use usability testing, you see the way people interact with it, their interaction, different form of user, or you can even do KPIs. KPIs are key performance indicator. How people were able to successfully perform different kind of operation. Maybe you want to upload a profile picture, create a KPI for that. You want to make transaction, you create a KPI for that. You want to you want to contact customer care, you create KPI for that. Then you check the success rate. If 90% of users were able to succeed in performing all those operations, then your product is good to go. But if less than 90% of users are unable, then you have to redo it and redefine. You have to re-empathize with Mr. Musa. What tales are you not telling me? Don't feel shy, feel at home. I'm your friend. I want to solve your problem. Then you define the problem again, then you ideate, you prototype, and so on and so forth. And some cases you already know what you really want to work on. You might actually start from ideating stage without even disturbing Mr. Musa, and without even disturbing Mr. Musa, although you might actually be testing the product sef on Mr. Musa or any other participant. I'm just saying, but you might actually overcome some kind of positions once you already know the problem you are facing and how to solve the problem. So, and the last slide, which are the five, oh, is a wrong header. It should be design thinking process. So we have, like I've already explained it, the empathizing stage, whereby you empathize, you feel, you look into your users heart, and you're able to see their frustrations, their pain points, and then you're able to get the problem they are actually facing. And through the divine phase, you're able to create some kind of problem statement, user story. Okay, for example, user story like Mr. Musa is a very busy man. Mr. Musa is a very busy man, and he doesn't have time to go to bank while having bank issues with his bank app, with his mobile banking app. Or you can create a, oh, Jessica is a career lady who doesn't have husband or kids that can go to the bank for her, and is having issue making some kind of transactions, and he would love if the problem can be solved. So different kind of problem statement, user stories and everything, you be using them under the divine state. Then after defining their problem, then you will be able to ideate, where you are able to create ideas about how to solve the problem. After creating ideas about how to solve the problem, you create prototypes, wireframe, low fidelity prototype, high fidelity prototype, and lastly the test phase. Every product must be tested. Once you test it and you realize that it's working perfectly, boom, you are good to go. So thank you for your time. I still remain my humble and loyal self, Ayobami Paul. See you 6 p.m. tomorrow. And please, guys, tell others to be serious. I'm actually taking like a very huge portion of my time to even create slides and create everything so that this program can be successful. All I really want, like I said earlier, is your seriousness. Please and please be serious. I'm actually taking note of those who are submitting assignments and those who are really serious and really partaking to the class. No. So, and all I just want is your seriousness. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and God bless you. Any other question, please let me know before we close the class.
All right, sir. Good evening. Thank you so much for your effort. My question will be, this slides, can you please make it available for us so we can get access and read through once we are getting confused or if we need more clarity?
No problem. I will share you the slide, and I will also share a PDF file later that you can actually read. Everything is well defined, and the examples and everything is there. So no problem about that. So any other question?
Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for the class. Thank you for the sacrifice. So I want to ask the last assignment we did. I was asking for this trend sign icon. Can you hear me? I don't
I
know how
can't.
to go about it. The trend icon on the fourth assignment.
So this one thing about icons. So I will be teaching us icons is something later. You can actually use something dummy. You can go to Google and search for the icon and add SVG, search for the name of the icon and add SVG at the back. So Google will give you some SVG suggestions that you can actually use. I only gave you guys the assignment so that you guys can have something to practice about. You can use it to interact with the whole Figma interface and have something and really work with it and know how Figma interface works. So everything is like with time, and I'm actually expecting you guys to be like once in a while go to Figma, do something, design something and show it so that I can review it. The more I review your work, the more you clone, the more you the more you copy other people's designs, that's what definitely increase your creativity. You can't just wake up one day and okay, I'm a professional designer. Never tried it before, you definitely fail. But compared to someone that have clone as many form of design as possible. If you want to draw a circle with a box shadow, or let me say drop shadow, you already know that okay, this is the certain opacity for the shadow, this is the color I should use, this is that. That's one thing about the assignment. I'm not really giving you guys the assignment to like stress you out. I want to see something. I just want you guys to use it to like get familiar with the whole Figma interface, because if you are not familiar with the whole Figma interface at this very particular time, we might be having issue later when we start designing our project. You understand? So that's all about that. And about icons, you don't really need to really stress yourself. If you can't find it on Google, you can use a dummy icon for now. But later on, I will be teaching you guys how to get icons and how to turn images to icon easily. That kind of stuff. So that's it. Because if you should get icon, you may need to do subscription to some platform like flat icon. So you have to do subscription to flat icon, and they have all form of icon you can ever need. So they have millions of icon on flat icon, but it's no longer free. It was actually free for like some years ago, but now it's no longer free. So don't worry about that. I will give you guys another assignment tomorrow and see how you guys turn up. And those who submitted this one, I will review the assignment and tell them where to improve on. So, any other question?
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Thanks for the lecture. My question is the motive that you outline. Like, I don't get it.
the what?
How to use motive? Motive. You talk about motive now. In UX, your second. Can you hear me?
Motive as well.
When you started explain, is it motive? No. The second one, second to the second. No, dot. Motion. Yeah, motion in design. Sorry.
Motion design. Okay.
Yeah.
So, which part of it? You don't get the motion design part, designer part.
Yes.
So, motion designer is
Yes.
just like what is motion? Motion is movement, any form of movement from one state to another. That is motion. So motion is like you moving from a page to another page, you scrolling down a platform, you every form of like your movement, the way you are moving on any platform, that's motion. And some people actually studied it because they already know the way you want to move, and that's how they were able to create designs that works the way you want it to work. You understand? So motion designers, that's the work of motion designers. They work on movement and they work. They work on how you interact or movement from one page to another. And some products we have animations. Maybe once you click on the hamburger menu, the sidebar will auto animate in all by itself, and it automatically give it a background shadow abi background, e give it a background color of figure of black with 50% opacity, that kind of stuff. And the background color won't just show once, it shows on in an animated format. Those kind of motions, any form of motion on your platform is done by motion designers. Do you understand now?
I was thinking that motion comes with coding like that,
No, you
or
don't need to
does
code.
it different from
If you
coding?
are doing Figma, you don't, it is different from coding. Motion designers just do animation. If you are doing prototyping on Figma, that's motion design now. Some people, once you designed all the components, some people will do the prototype in such a way that it will be much more interactive. They will add animations, and you can also add animations in Figma. Do you understand? Do you understand? Can you hear me?
I said
Yes, we
yes,
can hear
thank
you.
you.
Okay, I have another question.
All right.
Can I go on?
Yeah, go on, go on.
Okay, now after the design, when I was doing the assignment, I tried to preview, like play it to see how it's going to look like, but it wasn't showing. I don't know why.
It's not showing. Maybe
Yeah,
you
it's
are
not
not
showing.
creating your design on an artboard. Just artboard normally
Ah,
shows. So if you are designing inside an artboard, then it will definitely show. And if it's
okay.
not
Okay.
showing, if it's not showing,
Okay.
you should click on the
Okay.
artboard. Click on the
Okay.
artboard like, I think I should still have, you click it like, you click it like this, then you click on play button. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes.
So that's how it works.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So any other question? So
Um,
yeah,
Good evening, Bami. What is this prototype in a layman's definition, please?
prototype in a layman's language. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Prototype is just like, prototype is, you are simulating. Okay, do you know the meaning of simulation? Because I want to use something else that is much stronger. So prototype is just you creating something the way you think it should look like. You making it much more like virtually real. You want to create a ball like this now. You want to create a ball, just normal ball that people will play on the pitch. Then you create a prototype for it in you create a prototype for it in SolidWorks, how the ball will look like and everything. And when people see it, wow, this ball is very fine, it's very fine. And we have some kind of prototype. We have like two different type of prototype in real life product. We have the one that are digitally displayed, and we have the one that you can actually work with. When people are creating prototype, they are just creating something for you to see, so that you can know that okay, this is how the product will work. Prototype works like the way product should work. You understand? It works like the way product should work, but it's not actually the real product yet. They are just using it to test you, to they are just using it to either pitch or to test the results. Okay, this is the product and this is how it should work. That's what prototype is all about.
All right, thank you.
Okay. That means you can say replica, right?
Okay, any other question?
Yes, yes. Like the assignment you gave us, like I was trying to design another this thing, another thing. I'm trying to make my cycle. to not be transparent. Like I want to duplicate 5 cycle, so each one will not be transparent. Like when I put it on the artwork layer, it's not showing it. Even when I even say bring to the front, it's still not showing it. I don't know what happened.
Okay, this is what you will do. Go to YouTube like that. Go to how Figma layers work. Layers in Figma. No, element layers in Figma, how it works. Search for it. You will see a video explaining everything, how layers work. Because like I said earlier that day, everything works in layers, and in whatever you are putting inside an artboard will automatically be in an artboard. The artboard itself is a layer. So once you put something inside an artboard, it automatically be like it now looks as if you are grouping all the elements inside that very particular artboard. Once you move it out of the artboard, it automatically go out of the artboard. But layers automatically shows on the sidebar. Everything shows, everything you are creating in Figma are in layers. Then you can either group it in normal grouping, or you can group it as frame which is artboard. You understand? So what you are trying to move, check it very well. Maybe the one at the top that is not working, once you fix position while scrolling inside an artboard, fix position or something, it automatically comes to the top. So you should either check, maybe you fix the position while scrolling or not. But if you didn't, if that's not the issue, then it should automatically work. You should check the hierarchy of the layers, and then you can work with that. Hope you understand.
Like it's not like when I draw triangle like on the layout itself, then give it a color. Then I want to draw another cycle on top of that triangle to make it not that transparent. It's not even showing at all.
The
That's what
circle is
I
not
mean.
showing at all.
Yes, like it's not showing. Like if I put white on it, like if I draw a triangle now, my triangle I put a blue color. Then I draw another cycle like 5. Like I duplicate it. I just want one to be more transparent than others. But it's not even showing at all. Like I'm not even seeing what I'm doing. Even when I even click bring back to the front,
So
same
you
I'm
draw
not
a
even
triangle
seeing
like
it.
this, you gave it a red color.
Uh-huh.
You now draw a circle on it.
Yeah. Yes.
This is it now, it's showing. And you gave it a white color. Can you see it showing? It's sent to the back. Can you see? So maybe you are the one doing something wrong. You should check it very well. You should try it. It will work. Hope you understand.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think I witnessed the same thing she's saying. I think it's when you use a frame, like a frame now, and you draw on it, it automatically enters the frame.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Whatever stuff you draw, copy it out of the frame if you want it to show outside the frame. If you want it to show inside the frame, then you should put it inside the frame. But if you are using something that is inside the frame, you want to be using something inside the frame outside the frame, it's not possible. It's either you bring it out or you use it inside the frame. And this is it. Maybe this is a frame. This is a frame. You now draw circle. This is a circle. Then this circle, let's give it red. This circle now automatically bring it to the right. Can you see the circle again? You can't see it because it's inside
No.
the frame.
Okay.
But once you cut it out, then you paste it outside. This is it. Okay. Why is it not showing? Let me see. Is that what you are actually experiencing?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I cut it out. It should show here. This is it now. Can you see? You cut it. It's inside the frame now.
As in, how do you?
Cut is control X, not S o, X.
Oh, okay.
So you cut it out, or instead of you cutting it out, you just drag it like this. It automatically comes out itself. It's either you put it inside or you drag it out. That's it.
The challenge now is that I think we are supposed to work on the frame.
And if you want to work, you can work inside the frame. You can even create anything outside and bring it inside the frame. So it's that simple.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm still having that challenge of display though.
Which display?
Like I try creating a frame already and putting my design on it, and I try to display, but it's not displaying.
And that's why I said, have you click on the artboard?
Yes, I have.
Are you sure you are using artboard? Are you sure you are using this tool? Are you
Yes, I
sure?
am.
So like this tool like
Oh,
this now,
okay.
already can you see the play now? Can you see what it's showing?
Yes.
Can you see? So it will definitely show.
Yes.
Maybe you are doing the wrong thing.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
No, maybe
Can this be the
refresh your system, refresh it, like refresh your artwork, it will come out.
okay?
Because I was having that challenge. Once you refresh it, it will show back. It will either be network or so. Just refresh it.
So which other question?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. So
Yeah.
we really appreciated the presentation. So my first question I want to ask, based on what you explained to us now, are you saying that for us to come up with a design as a UX designer, are we to make use of the product life cycle development, then same time user centered process? Are we to match all of them, or we are to stick to either the product or the user centric development user centered development process?
So this is it. Like everything is like very diverse, like it's very big. But but you must know everything. Once you know everything, you will just follow the normal procedure, which is the last one I taught you. You will empathize with user depending on that kind of project you are working on. You empathize with user, you define, you ideate, you prototype, and then you test. So that's the like standard one that people follow. And you can also follow the product normal product development life cycle too. You understand? So you just need to know that whichever when you are trying to empathize, make sure that it's user centered. When you are trying to create design solutions, make sure that you are following the 5S. You understand? Make sure that you are following the principle. All of that stuff, like they will all work in hand. You understand? They work together, they work synchronously. Shey you grab? But normally you have to follow the product development life cycle. And depending on project, like some projects you just go straight and design the hi-fi. Once you know, you already know. And when it comes to the product development life cycle, you can actually use quan quantitative research. You can do quantitative research and surveys. You can work on existing research, what other people do. You can check their platform, do competitive audit and a whole lot of stuff. So you learn everything later. So I think that's all now. No more question.
Sorry, one last question, sir. On the um, artboard for the Figma, I'm finding it difficult to zoom in to zoom out. And I see that you do it stress free to
That's
zoom in and
because
to
I'm
zoom
using
out.
mouse. Go and buy mouse. That small
Okay,
button
okay,
on
okay, it's
mouse, you
clear.
just hold your
Um,
control or shift button and then you scroll in, scroll out easily.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm still having the same challenge here.
You can also
It's
do
not
your
really.
keyboard. You can also use your trackpad too. You just use hold it with you can use two hand and then open your hand. just like that to zoom in, and then close your hand through your two fingers too to zoom out. Is it clear?
So as I was saying, is
Like this now. Can you see? I'm using my two fingers. So any other thing?
okay. It's still not playing though. I don't know what to do.
Reload your close the Figma and reload it, and then replay it. It should work. Or you should try it inside your browser. Are you using it inside browser?
No, 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 not browser.
Try it inside
Figma.
browser. So good night guys. See you guys some other time. Bye bye and have a wonderful